So you traded away a third-round pick for a guy that's only going to play one season for you? That stinks, but it could be worse. You could be paying a guy like Daniel Jones $160 million. Oh, wait. Welcome, everybody, to JG9 News, where we talk all things NFL all the time. I'm Jared Aaron, representing the 904 from the 602, and today we are talking about this team behind me right here, the New York Football Giants and tight end Darren Waller. Last year, the Giants acquired Waller for a third-round pick number 100 in the NFL draft, which became Trey Tucker, and Waller did not have the best of seasons last year in 2023. In 2020 with the Raiders, he was one of the best tight ends in football. 107 receptions, 1,196 yards, and 9 touchdowns. But since then, the last 3 years have not gone according to plan. 135 catches, 1,609 yards, 6 touchdowns, an average of 45, 535, 2 per season. That's not really all that good for a guy of his caliber. Last season, 52 receptions, 552 yards, 1 touchdown. He missed 5 games. Injuries galore over the last 3 seasons. He had multiple ankle injuries in 2021, a knee strain in 2021, a hamstring injury in 2022, hamstring injury in 2023. He's going to be 32 years old when the 2024 season starts. He is no longer in the prime of his career from an age standpoint. And now, to make matters even worse or more complicated, depending on how you want to look at it, it could be a bit of both. Darren Waller thinking about retiring and not coming back into the NFL in 2024. This is a report from the New York Post by Paul Schwartz and Ryan Dunleavy. It says that Darren Waller might be retiring from the NFL. Waller told the Post on Friday that he is still undecided if he is going to continue his playing career. Earlier that Friday, March 1st, the Giants spoke with Waller's agent, the incredible Drew Rosenhaus. And by incredible, I mean one of the most prominent agents in football, maybe the most prominent agent in sports. And based on that conversation, they were convinced that Waller was going to return for a second season with the team. But Waller said, I have not made a decision either way. There was talk at the end of the 2023 season that Waller was going to be retiring. And 2 months later, we still have no idea whether or not Darren Waller is coming back. It also says that a Giants source confirmed on March 1st, based on a conversation with his agent, that Waller would play for the team in 2024, but Waller caught wind of that report and made it clear that he is not sure yet what he will do. And this is not a contract negotiation ploy. This is not a ploy of trying to get more money. He doesn't have any leverage here. This is genuinely concerning of whether or not he's going to play in 2024. Now, you have to think that a decision has to be coming before March 13th, the start of the league year. Because here's the situation with the Giants. Right now, Darren Waller is counting $14 million against the cap. Now, the Giants don't have a ton of space tied up to the cap necessarily. They have $32 million in cap space. When you factor in rookie contracts, the effective cap space is around $24 million. So it's not like they're hurting for a cap by any means, but still, that is a pretty substantial cap hit. That's 8 figures in cap. If he's on the retired list, the Giants don't own that. That frees up $14 million. If he's cut, yeah, it's $7.8 million in dead cap this year, but it does free up $6.5 million, and that is a fairly substantial amount of money. You can probably get a very good tight end with that money, or you can get a few guys in the second wave of free agency when that happens. The Giants don't have a number 1 tight end on the roster if Darren Waller is gone. Dale Bellinger, Tyree Jackson are the other 2 tight ends, and the Giants don't know yet what they're doing with Tyree Jackson. They need to know because he's a restricted free agent. That decision probably depends on Waller, because if Waller retires, if you let him go, you probably are more inclined to bring Jackson back, because if you don't, you only have 1 tight end on your roster going into the start of the league year, and you don't want to do that. There are lots of free agent tight ends available. You got guys like Jonnu Smith, Logan Thomas, Hunter Henry, Dylan Schultz, Austin Hooper, just to name a few. Aren't really any great tight ends. I mean, Dylan Schultz was very, very good last season. There aren't really any tier 1 tight ends, but there are some tier 2, tier 3 tight ends that the Giants, with their cap space, with or without Waller, might want to be in on, that you might not sign if you don't know about Waller, but if you know that Waller's not coming back, you might want to bring them on, because you don't want a rookie necessarily being your number 1 tight end to start off the year. You have to think a decision on this is going to be made by the start of the league year, that the Giants will force Darren Waller's hand one way or the other. Because Darren Waller, you owe it to your teammates and the team to make up your mind on this before the start of the league year. If you're not coming back, that's fine. If you want to come back, that's fine. But don't keep the Giants in limbo, because if you keep them in limbo and you seem like you're coming back and then you decide you're going to retire, well, now the Giants can't get a tight end in free agency. They missed on that. Their draft strategy, depending on how late you wait on this, if you wait till June, it might be screwed up that way. You at least owe it to your team and to the front office and to your teammates to announce a decision if you're that undecided before the start of the league year. And if they don't, and if Waller doesn't announce a decision by that point, if he's still undecided, my guess is that the Giants will take that as he's not coming back, and they will decide to cut him and cut ties with him. Again, he's not going to be a cap casualty. The Giants confirmed that, and there's no real reason for him to be a cap casualty because the Giants have plenty of cap space. They have some of the most cap space of any team in football. It's not the super high end, but it is on the high end, relatively speaking. They're nowhere near the negative like a few teams are. But at the same time, you do want to know where you stand on whether you need to upgrade tight end or not, and whether you need to get a true number one tight end, a veteran tight end. And if Waller doesn't make up his mind in the next week, that seems to tell you everything you need to know, and the Giants might go in a separate direction and just cut ties with Waller. Either way, you figure a decision's going to be coming sometime soon, and that Waller won't keep the Giants in limbo for the next few months. We should know one way or another by the middle of the month whether Darren Waller will be playing for the New York Giants in 2024 or whether he's going to be playing in the NFL, period. It will be very interesting to see what the Giants do with free agency, depending on what Darren Waller decides to do. But I will say this, considering his injury history, considering his age, considering the money that he's made already, considering his decline in production, the fact that he was contemplating retirement back in December and he is still contemplating retirement, the moment you think about it, that's a pretty good indication that you're not coming back. So if I had to put money on it right now, I would say that Darren Waller is not going to be a New York Giant in 2024. I don't think he's going to be playing in 2024. And if he is, he will be with a different team. My guess is that Darren Waller will not be on the Giants roster in the next 10 days, and the Giants will look to upgrade at tight end in free agency by getting a guy like Logan Thomas, who just became available from the Washington Commanders. Again, that's my prediction. I don't have any inside sources, but based on that report from the New York Post, along with other outlets, that is what I'm thinking is going to happen. But what are your thoughts on the whole situation? Do you think Darren Waller comes back for the 2024 season? Do you think he comes back with the Giants? Do you think the Giants cut him? Do you think he retires? Do you think the Giants sign another tight end in free agency? What do you think Darren Waller should do? And does he owe it to his teammates and his team to make up his mind before the start of the new league year? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And that's going to do it for this episode of JG9 News. Be sure you like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out my main channel, Jaguar9, where we talk all things NFL history all the time. Until next time, this is Jaguar9 signing off. And as always, go Jags.